How's it going? Joe Kuski here. Hope everybody's doing well. Today, it's a Saturday morning, and I'm glad to see you all here. I have a surprise for everybody in here right now. It is so cool. I've got Jason. I always screw this up. I kept going over and over and over again, and I was like, oh, what the heck? So let's get Jason in here and welcome Jason to the Joe Show. How's it going? Hope everything's going well. And you know what? Of course, I practiced your last name over and over again. And what did I do? I screwed it up again. How you doing today, Jason?
I'm great. How are you doing, Joe?
I'm doing good. So how'd you like that intro? Did you see that intro?
Yeah, I love that, man. That's awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah. So anyways, anything I could do on the Joe Show to get people on. We've got about 4 people on right now. They're just watching. Nobody's hashtagging the Joe Show. So if you're on here live right now, hashtag the Joe Show so we know you're on. If you guys have questions for Jason, Jason's here to answer your questions about what he does, what he's doing online, and also, this is all about Jason today. That's what I want to do because everybody knows the Joe Show, everybody knows what I'm doing, but we're here to find out what Jason does and everything. So let's get the music turned down a little bit. It's not too loud, is it? It's kind of a nice little intro sound coming in and everything, but we'll get that turned off. And Jason, so how's it going this morning? How are you doing?
Oh, great, man. Doing excellent today.
That's good.
Just got up. I always wake up early, so I'm just kind of, my body's programmed to do that. So got up fairly early and did a little bit of work on the computer and a little bit of coffee, get going, and here I am.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. Did you go do some exercise this morning? I know you do some exercise every morning and everything, but it's a Saturday, right?
Yeah. Not this morning. I usually take the weekends off. Although talking to my son about taking him to go check out a parkour gym today, so I might get some exercise in there.
Wow, parkour. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what. Matter of fact, Jason, where are you located at? Where are you at?
I'm in Vancouver, Washington, so Pacific Northwest.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
I'm just below you. I'm down in Southern California, which is really awesome. And of course, we always talk online and everything. One of these days, we're going to have to definitely meet up and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Jason, let's talk a little bit about your profession. What do you actually do for a living? Because everybody sees you in surgical gear and the intro, the madness and everything. Everybody's like, oh my God, what does Jason do? So let's talk about what you actually do, Jason.
Yeah, for the past, I don't know, 14, 15 years, I guess it's been now, I work as an orthopedic sales rep. So the company I work for, we provide the implants and the instruments so if you were to get your shoulder or your hip or your knee replaced, we work with surgeons and we provide the implants and the instruments for that. So really it's a very highly service-based job. So the majority of my time is spent in the operating room, just kind of helping out with facilitating the flow of the surgery, acting as a consultant, making sure everything's there and ready to go. And then there's a whole logistics side of the job as well, just kind of planning everything out and making sure everything's ready to go.
So you're kind of like you prep the equipment and everything, and then you kind of got to be like right there when the doctor's installing everything, huh?
Yeah.
That must be pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. I didn't think anything like that. I know a guy down the street from me says he does something like that, but I never thought that. I thought it was just a sales job, selling stuff, but.
Yeah, it's funny because, the title is sales, but actually sales, when you actually look at the job, sales is actually a pretty small part of it. It's, there is sales involved, but these are like, long-term relationships that we're building with these surgeons. And so I'm working with the same surgeons, week in and week out. And so, it's just really all about making sure everything's there, making sure everything goes smoothly, answering any questions they may have, and just a highly service-based job, and really relationship focused on these surgeons that we work with. So
That's interesting. That's pretty cool. And you've been doing that for how long?
since 2006, so what,
Wow.
almost 14 years now.
So what was it like on your very first surgery?
Well, I actually worked, funny enough, I actually worked in the operating room before I got this job. And so I had exposure to the environment. And so that was nice. But yeah, it's funny. I'm so used to seeing people cut open and getting operated on now. It's just, just like anything else, you get used to it, right? But yeah, the first few surgeries I witnessed, it's pretty impressive. It's like when they're in there doing a total joint replacement, they're using hammers and saws and drills, and if you're outside the room, it sounds like they're in there building a house sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I bet the first time you're sitting there in there and everybody's like, "Hey, now this is your first one, right? Okay, you're gonna be okay with this, right?" And you're like, "Yeah, you're not gonna pass out, are you? Right? No, I don't think so." And stuff. Next thing you know, you see a saw, a hammer, a drill, and you're like, "Whoa, whoa, wait a minute here, guys. What are we
Yeah,
doing here?"
yeah, yeah. It's anytime anyone new comes into the room and it's their first experience, we definitely keep a close eye on it, because there's been people that have got lightheaded and gone down. So
Yeah,
just
no,
be
I could
aware of that.
tell. Now,
You just
during
aren't
that
used to it.
surgery and stuff, is there times where you'll just probably sit back and relax and you're kind of like in the background and you're not really have to do, you're just waiting to listen if they have a question or anything, or are you like
Yeah, for
right
sure.
there the whole time?
Yeah, well, our level of involvement just really depends on who you're working with, right? I mean, there's the majority of the surgeons that I work with all the time. They're so familiar with our stuff, and the staff there are so familiar that that's kind of how it is. You're in the background, you're paying attention, and you're staying focused on the surgery, but you may not necessarily be, directly involved in it. Whereas you could be working with a new surgeon who's never used your stuff, and you're walking them through step by step,
Wow,
um, how
that's
to do it,
interesting.
how to use the instruments, questions on the surgery, questions on the implants. So it just kind of depends on who you're working with.
Wow, wow. That's pretty interesting. Well, at least you know that if your knee goes out or something like that, you go, "Hey doc, you might want to check out my knee, huh? It's a little sore today."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some of the perks of the job, if you have aches and pains, you can always go in and ask questions. And
Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. So, all right, well, Jason, so let's talk about what made you get online. How you've got this job, this great job here.
yeah,
There's a lot of us. I have a great job as well too, but what made you want to get online and do an online business?
yeah, yeah. So I am super grateful for my job. It's an excellent job. One of the major downfalls of this job is it requires a ton of time. I work a lot of hours. I get the hospital at 6:30 in the morning, and I go until we're done, right? Which could be anywhere from 10 to 16 hours sometimes. Like right now, I'm consistently putting in 11, 12 hour days, because it's a busy time of the year. And so I've got two younger boys and a family, and I was just finding myself coming home late day after day after day, and I was just like, there's got to be a better way, right? I mean, there's got to be another way that I can find a way to um, not only earn additional income to what I'm earning now, but have the goal of building a full-time online business and replacing my income from my current job, which is my ultimate goal. So I just started looking around online. I've done a few side businesses in the past, and just didn't quite find anything that I connected with and I was passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started going out and looking around online, and actually I ran across a Facebook ad for a training program for affiliate marketing. And so I checked it out, and I ultimately ended up buying the training program, and starting to get into it and learn it, and was really drawn into affiliate marketing because it applies. You don't need your own product, first of all, to start out with, which is key because I didn't have one. Um, but it just, the more I got into it and the more I learned it, the more I just became passionate about it because there's so many different aspects to it. And yeah, so that's kind of how I got into it. And then just, one thing leads to another, and you start meeting people in the community and learn more about it. And the next thing you know, you're
So when you saw affiliate marketing, did you even have a clue what affiliate was? Because I know that when
uh,
I started,
mhm,
and people are talking about affiliate, because I'm an e-commerce seller, and I had been doing that for years. But when I first come across affiliate, I'm like, I don't even know how to spell the word, let
right.
alone, you know, let alone figure out what it does. Did you have any clue, or did you like, okay, what does this actually mean?
Yeah, not really. I mean, before I ran across that, I mean, you see people with websites and stuff, and they list stuff, products from like Amazon, and they'll give you a link. And so I kind of, I'd seen some of that in the past, but as far as what the business was really about and what was entailed, I had no clue. I was, and to be honest with you, I um, hardly even ever got on a computer. I mean, I'd get on Facebook occasionally as for personal reasons, but pretty much everything I do through work is mobile. Just because I'm in the hospital, I'm always moving around. We have an office, but I'm hardly ever there. So it's like, I'm one of those mobile warriors where I pretty much do everything on my phone, and I'm not real wasn't super techie, and wasn't real good at with software and all that kind of stuff. So it was a huge step for me. It's been a huge learning curve.
Techie, you could fool me because I've seen some of the stuff that you come out with, and let me tell you, being techie is not always. Everybody sits there and goes, "I'm not techie." I sit there and say the same thing. I go, "Yeah, I don't know too much about the internet. I know enough to get myself so much in trouble that I could probably shut down my whole computer." And blow it up or something like that. And then here I am today doing the Joe show. I've got multiple screens. I've got multiple software going, and it's like I didn't think I'd ever do this. Did you ever think that
Right.
you'd be able to do the talent that you have today? Because in your Facebook group and on your page, I see all the different things. I mean, where do you come up with all your ideas, your copy, where does this come from?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would have never thought I would be doing anything like that. I mean, if you would have talked to me, 2 plus years ago or whatever, before I started, I would have never thought I would do anything like this. Let alone, I mean, getting on live on Facebook, doing posts, starting a group, all that kind of stuff is it's just been the evolution of the business of getting going. And um, I've just spent a lot of time connecting with other great people and learning from other great people. Um, you know, getting excellent training courses, and finding excellent mentors, and collaborating with other excellent people like yourself, and just learning from all those people and all those training courses, and just going from there, step by step.
So you look at as so just to let you know, Jason invited me to be a moderator in his group. I've always in his group and everything, and I jump in his group, and I'm always putting stuff, and Jason's always putting stuff in my group, and he's commenting and engaging and stuff like that. And it's funny because as we're doing this interview and everything, I'm getting hammered with some of my stuff, people that's friend requesting me and friend requesting Jason, and I'm sure they're doing the same thing on your side as well, Jason. Is that
Yeah,
awesome?
yeah,
So, Jason, you started a course, and let's explain to us a little bit of why you started this course, and then what the course is all about.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So, um, what one of the thing I'm really passionate about in this business is helping other people, right? And helping other people get started in their business as well. And so, I was working with a bunch of people, and helping them along. And I just realized that I enjoy working with people one on one, but you can always help much more people if you can have something that's automated or a system in place, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I figured I would sit down and go through the process of basically what I wanted to do was go back to when I started and think, okay, if I were to restart my business, how would I want to learn it? And what things would I want to do to get started the quickest way possible and the most efficient way possible? So I just kind of went through everything I learned, distilled it down, and laid out a 30-day program. So I walk people through, give them an action item each day for 30 days. And if they follow the that plan for 30 days, you can get your business up and running, get the software, sign up for the software, integrated, all put together. And hopefully, if you've done all your work through those 30 days, you can just plug in your product and start promoting.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And it didn't take no 30 days to build that either, did it?
It took me a little longer than that.
So yeah, I've and for me, I went through the 30-day course, but then I started going back through it again, and I'm actually reading every email that comes through, and I'm responding to every email, and it's very interesting for me to see what I know today, and reading all the emails. It's like, wait a minute here. I didn't think about this, I didn't think about that, and so um, tell us, we'll get back to the course in a few minutes, but tell us a
Mhm.
little bit about what made you get a group. Because I know that everybody has groups, and groups tend to fall apart and fail, and groups, people get a group and boom, they'll get 1,000 people in a group like instantly, and then all of a sudden that group fails and it doesn't
Mhm.
do anything. And probably watching that, you're probably wondering, what should I do if I get a group? What should I do and everything? So tell us about a little bit about your group and what made you start that.
Well, kind of a similar reason, right? I mean, you can create an awesome community of people online in a Facebook group, and that was the ultimate goal. Um, just provide value for people, provide training. Try to get the best training in there I possibly can. And one of the things we're always trying to do here online, if you have an online business, is to grow your online organic audience. So that's another great way to do that is just provide great value through your Facebook group, and that'll attract people to you, and they'll get to know you and like you and trust you. So
Oh, that's
um,
awesome. And how's
you
your group
know,
doing?
it's doing pretty well. I mean, like you said, there's some groups that just blow up real quick. Mine hasn't done that. It's been a kind of a continual process. You just it's groups are just kind of that way. You just need to keep putting out good content, the best content you can, and keep getting people engaged and try to provide value. And I'm not super selective. I know some people are really selective on who they let in their group. But I don't let anyone in. I want to have the right people in there that are going to provide value themselves and engage and be a part of the community. So it's been a little bit of a slower process. I haven't blown up to 1,000 people right away, but um,
Well,
we'll
think
get
of
there
it
eventually.
today. What if you did? I mean, how would you handle that? Because I think about that sometimes with my group. Is if I turned around and if I went from 0 to 5,000 in a week's time, that means you're really busy with the group, because having a group isn't just like, oh, I got a group now and stuff. It takes a lot of work, right?
Yeah, yeah, and that's the one thing. And um, one of our mentors, Zeki, who is a mentor for both of us. Um, he's one of the people that I really learned a lot from when I initially started my group on what to do, how to start it, what to do, what to focus on. And that's one thing that he pounded home is you need to be consistent. I mean, if you just if you just go away, your group's going to disappear, right? I mean, so you're in charge of running that group and making sure you're posting good content and keeping engagement and keeping the community get together and active. So yeah,
Well,
it does take a lot of work.
have you experienced that yet? Have you experienced that you like went away from the group for about a week or for a couple days or something, and all of a sudden you just noticed that nothing happened in the group, and then all of a sudden, boom, you went, "Oh, I can't let this go. Yeah, I've worked so hard to get to this point. I got to keep going."
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's been times when I've kind of backed off some of the social media stuff, especially when I was building my course. I have a limited amount of time, so sometimes I have to make that decision. Am I going to create, focus on creating content, or am I going to focus more on the social aspect of it? So there's been times where I've backed off, and I've definitely noticed, uh, you know, people just don't engage. I mean, if you're not there, kind of feeding the fire and keeping it going, there's so many great groups out there right now that people are just going to go to someone else's group.
And speaking about other groups, I've always said, and let me hear from you what you think. Would you recommend people to join in maybe a few multiple groups, not like 100, but like I know right now, I have invites to be in about 57 groups right now, but there's no way I could be in all those groups. But I pick up probably about the top 5 to 10, and maybe 5 of them I'm really like active in them. But what would you recommend? Would you recommend the same thing? Would you recommend people join other groups to learn?
Yeah, I mean that I would recommend the same thing. That's what I do personally. And like I said, depends on your time and how much time you have to invest, because every little thing you're going to do online is going to take up time, right? I mean, you're making posts, you're engaging with other people's posts, you're jumping in groups, you're watching lives, you're watching training videos. So depending on your situation and where you're at and how much time you have, I personally would say, yeah, focus down five to 10 groups and really focus on those groups and be active in those groups. And the people in those groups are going to get to know you and like you. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I would
Cool.
definitely.
Very cool. So, in your course, I want to talk about your course. You're offering a free book in the course, and actually, real quick, if you just joined in with us today, right now, or anything, don't forget to hashtag the Joe Show so that we know you're there. And if you guys have any questions, definitely reach out and ask questions. And even after the this is over with, we'll be keeping an eye on what's going on and everything. And Jason will be able to answer your questions, or I will later on today as well too.
Yeah.
So your course, it's a 30-day free book, right? It's
Hmm.
emails, and it's a book that you can read, but it comes along with emails as well, right?
Correct.
Now you have a course that goes into it as well with videos and stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a free ebook, and um, you can download that for free. It outlines the 30-day plan that I put together, so you could go through and see each step day by day. And then along with that, like you said, I follow up with emails to just kind of further elaborate on what I talk about in the ebook and help you out through there. And then if you are interested, there is a video course available where I actually shot 30 videos where I go on and explain stuff in more depth and show you the software and how to hook it all up and all that good stuff. So
Wow, that's pretty crazy because I know that doing videos, and rather they're 30 seconds or 5 minutes long, doing videos and having that content and talking about it is really tough to do. So that must have taken a long time. So overall, how long do you think it might have taken you to build this course from beginning to like end? And I guarantee you it's not done. I bet you have to go in there every time you think about something and go, you know what, I think I'll touch this up a little bit. I'll touch this up a little bit to make it better, right?
yeah, yeah. To be honest with you, I pretty much sacrificed my whole summer. to
Wow.
build out this course. We usually go camping. I take days off. We go camping or go ride motorcycles or whatever. But every weekend and every day off I had over the summer, I spent building this course. And this is my first time doing this, and I'm sure a lot of people could probably throw a course together a lot quicker. But I really thought about it hard, and I really put a lot of time and thought into it because I wanted it to be, good information, and I want it to be valuable. Um, so I spent a lot of time on it. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's the launch and perfectly theory, right? I mean, get as best you can, and then put it out there, and then you're always going to get good feedback. And yeah, over the last few months, I've got a lot of great feedback. So I'm always going in and trying to, like you're saying, trying to tweak stuff and make it better and add stuff. And
That's awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome. Well, let's make sure that we put, and we'll pin it to the top of this posting today. When we put it in there, a link to your course to make sure that anybody that wants to go and check it out, they definitely could check it out, because why wouldn't they? It's a free book and it's a free 30-day email sequence that they're going to be able to learn. And why wouldn't you get it? Because even if you felt that you're experienced, you're not always experienced, because you're going to always have another point of view from somebody else to how to do something, right? That's how I look at it. I try to learn from everybody. I learned from you. I learned from Zeki. I learned from John Vaughn. I learned from everybody I can. Just listening and thinking, what are they doing that I can do to help make it better? That's how I look at it. So
yeah, yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm always looking at other people's stuff. I'm opting into their sequences. I'm downloading their ebooks. That's one of the best ways to learn is to get out there and see what other marketers are doing.
yeah, yeah, it's called hacking. So Jason, how did you and I get to know each other? That's one thing I wanted to hit today. Uh, and I think we talked about it before and stuff. So, and talk about this is what I want to reach out to everybody and let everybody know how we got connected online and what are we doing today that's working both of us together.
Yeah, yeah. So, like I mentioned earlier, one of our mutual mentors is Zeki Ahmed, and he put together an excellent inner circle and a great group of people. And so both of us joined his. We're following him, and we're really impressed with what he was doing and his content. And so we joined his inner circle. And a small group of people like that are motivated and working hard to build their business is always really cool to hook up with if you can. And so both you and I were in there working hard and working on stuff. And so, you just reached out to me and said, "Hey, let's jump on a call sometime and chat and get to know each other." And so that's kind of how it started, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking the other day how we did get started. I'm thinking, man, how did I get to know Jason so much? And we started connecting every day, and it's like, are you online? Yeah, I'm online. It's pretty
yeah,
cool. And so, but it was between with Zeki. So, and I gotta owe a lot to Zeki for what I've learned a lot of too, and everything. And so, one thing that I did find out when I was working on stuff is that I come across this Tier 5 partnership that I saw. And tell me a little bit what you think. You're a partner in the Tier 5 company, it's a SaaS company.
hmm
Tell me a little bit about it and tell me what your thoughts are about it.
yeah, yeah. So Tier 5 is kind of a unique opportunity right now because it's still kind of a smaller company. It's still growing. It's only gonna continue to grow and get better and better. But that's one of the reasons I was attracted to that is because I just think, man, those people that got into Microsoft when it first started, or those people that got into Apple when it first started, or pick any one of those huge giant companies right now. I mean, my grandparents have a neighbor. They live up in Bellevue, and their neighbor got Microsoft stock like right in the beginning infancy of the company, and they're just they're retired and loving it now, right? I mean, so there's always those opportunities out there, and being able to get into an opportunity like that, and also have the opportunity to buy in as a partner and be able to sell the software myself and keep 100% of the profit, and work with a company like that with John Vaughn, who is always looking for feedback from his partners and his customers on how to improve the software, how to make things better, how can we better serve you guys, is basically his mentality. And all those things combined, it just seemed like an excellent opportunity that I could not pass up.
Yeah, yeah. I feel the same way. And they have all this software. And what does the software do? I mean, specifically, not specifically what each software does, but in general. Yeah, here I am, specifically in general. But what does the software do? Is it go out and do what?
Yeah, so they have what, nine different
Nine,
software program,
10, 10
10.
or 10, 11 different softwares.
Yeah, and they keep adding on, but generally it's helping you automate and grow your business and get more sales and make more money. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the goal, right? I mean, they all kind of do their own specific individual thing, but in general, that's the goal of John and Tier Five, is to help people automate their business, grow their business, get more sales, and become more successful. So
Yeah, that's cool. So let's talk about that one software that actually connects people with other people, and tell me what you think about that software.
yeah, it's very, very cool. It's really amazing. So Friend Connector, Chrome extension. I've been using it lately, and it's just a huge time saver. Like I said, for me, it always comes back to I've got a limited amount of time. So I've got so many tasks I need to do in my business, right, every day. And if any one of those tasks I can find a way to automate it and have a software do it for me and be able to use that time more effectively on something that's going to grow my business and produce more income, I'm all about that. And that's something that this definitely does. I'm reaching out to people all the time, growing my organic audience, connecting with people, creating relationships, and the aspect of being able to find those people and send them a friend request can really eat up a lot of your time. um, I did that hard a few months ago manually, and I spent hours and hours and hours for about a month trying to grow my organic audience, right? Because everyone talks about build up your friends list, build up a targeted friends list of the people that you want to connect with and build relationships with, and so I spent a ton of time to do that. But these past several weeks I've been using this Chrome extension. Has been amazing because I've been able to, before I go to bed, basically I go in and I set it up and I find those people that I want to go target, and I hit run and I go to sleep. I wake up in the morning and I've got several people that have accepted those friend requests that I've sent out, and now I can get on Messenger, and now I can send them messages, and I can connect with them, and I can start getting to know them and build relationships with those people. And I'd much rather spend my time doing that, actually forming those relationships with them, than trying to go out and try to find them and send them friend requests. So it's
And
just a
you're
much
you're
more effective
basically
time.
finding them based off of keywords that you're implementing through another friends list or in a group. How long did that take you to do that manually?
Like I said, I spent hours. I mean, I took a good month, and I really, really, really focused on that. And I was, you know, several hours a day. I was hunting people down, going into groups, trying to find the right people and send them the friend requests. And so. yeah, it was a lot of time. So it's really eliminated a lot of kind of that back end manual work you have to do to go out and find those people.
Yeah, and then so probably the next day your phone kind of blows up a little bit, telling you how many people actually have accepted your friend request, and then you go in after that. You sit there and start messaging them and get to know them a little bit, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Reach out, say hi, thanks for connecting, and wherever it goes from there.
Yeah, that's totally cool. That's something that I really like with some of the automation and everything with um, the software, which is really cool. So, Jason, you have anything that you want to kind of tell everybody? I think we're coming to the end here. We got a bunch of people that jumped on and watched this. I'm really looking forward to hearing what more people have to say later on. We started this a little bit early, and it was kind of, yeah, I wanted to do it early only because everybody in the East Coast doesn't seem to watch our lives when we do this later on or anything like that. But so do you have anything to say in our final few minutes here?
No, I mean, I appreciate you having you on the Joe Show. I always watch the Joe Show. It's awesome. And everyone definitely, if you're not in Joe's group, go check it out because it's an awesome group. So yeah, I just appreciate you having me on. It's been a lot of fun.
All righty, cool. Well, thanks a lot, Jason, for being on the Joe Show. The Joe Show comes on more and more every week. It's random. I try not to play it every single day because I've got work to do as well as everything else. But thanks a lot, Jason. I really appreciate your time and effort. And you have a great day, all right? Take
Absolutely.
care.
Thank you, Joe.